Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta, but actually I'm going to be showing you some meta. This is a play that I recently ran into. This opponent I was going against was a really good opponent. I had a extremely hard time stopping this guy's offense, and one of the base plays that he used on a regular basis was this play, the cheat F flat X post. You can get this out of the Bills, the Dolphins, the Falcons, the Rams, and Texans. I think there's other playbooks that have it. But this is a meta play that some other YouTubers are promoting, and it is extremely hard play to stop. And I've had people run this against me, but not using it as a base play, where it was the guy went back to the well with it, and it was one of those plays with the auto motion with the whip, and it was really annoying. So I want to kind of show you some of the challenges with this particular play and why it's hard to stop, and a sample defense of looking at it. So it's actually out of the gun normal Y off close. Usually when I see any kind of Y off closes or any tight sets, I immediately think cover 3 as a solution. So I'll jump into cover 3 hard flats and kind of go from there. I wasn't necessarily prepared for it in this defense, but here's my setup. I wanted to try to protect against a run. This is the first play of the game, so I shift my line off. I QB contain because I'm going against Josh Allen. And basically I slid this guy over, and I've got this guy right here in a hook zone. So really the smart thing, if you're going to play this specific defense against your opponent, is to use this guy, because you need to kind of come in here and take away the inside whip, which I wasn't prepared for. But you'll see how my defenders kind of float out of position with the whip. You can see how this guy's just out of position. He's not in position. And the route combination that's unique is that you got this auto motion that comes over and goes to a flat, and then you got an inside whip, and then you have a post over the top of it, and then you have a post on the back side. So you've got different areas that your opponent can pop you with, but really what they're looking at with this combination off to this side is they're looking to, this is their 1, this is their 2, and then maybe going ahead and going over the top of 3, or maybe the 3 on the back side. Now a lot of times what happens is people will actually go ahead and block the running back, or basically put them in a flat or an angle to try to go ahead and add a little bit more complexity to it. But you can see right here he hits me with a whip, and I'm like, okay, here's somebody that's going to be using whips against me. So I jump into cover 4 because he actually was using some other plays against me. You can see that we're a little bit further down in the field, and he was blending in other types of plays where he was doing kind of like a levels concept, sail more than anything else that he was attacking with me. So he was blending that. He was quick snapping a sail concept. And then other play that he was using a trips, where he would actually streak up the tight end and just flip this route, and I had to defend the tight end of the slot defender over the middle of the field. So back to this play once again. You can see he's reading this quick and getting rid of the ball really quick. So if this defender presses on the number 2 wide receiver, he's popping this outside defender or outside wide receiver right away. And he's settling for 4 yards. It's it's one of the things, he's just taking these chunk of 4 yards, and there's really no way for me to stop that. And I was just like, okay, it was a little bit frustrating. So right here, I think I'm just going into cover 4 quarters. Once again, it's because of some of the other plays he's blending into this game. But once again, goes back to this motion, and he just drops it down to the flat. Look at my defender. The defender that should be down the flat is way up here in a corner, because he's got to take the responsibility of this inside defender. So it just opens up the sideline with this play. So it was a very, very frustrating play to use, because he just keeps popping that corner. We picked up 8 yards in that in a third or a second and 10 situation. So right here, I think I switched things up. Let's see if I did. Okay, so I basically cross-manned. I put this guy down on the whip, and I put this guy down on this route right here. Probably the smart decision is a hard flat. I don't think a hard flat. I still had some type of a cover seam, and I don't hard flat out there. And he actually checks it down and actually picks up picks up 5 yards. So he's taking what I show him. If I give him some stuff, he was taking it. So now I go ahead and try to do something a little bit different. I run a play where I'm trying to get some blitzing off to the edge, and also go ahead and have a defender that's going to float into his passing lane for the whip. Problem with it is that this particular defender is just too far inside. His leverage needs to be outside like so. So probably the smart thing to do is put this guy into a flat, but he's a deep third defender, or deep defender, so he doesn't have those type of pass responsibilities. So you could see that I'm frustrated with this particular play because of what he's doing. So he motions once again the guy off. And just settles for the flat. He takes the flat. He's just taking what I given him, and he's taking 5 or 6 yards. He's not trying to pick up major yards. He's okay with it because it's really dictating how I play my defense. So now I got a little bit smarter. Okay, I'm going to go with a little bit more of aggressive blitz, and I'm going to give this guy any kind of time. What I do is I bring my safety down in this type of situation, and I want to make sure that the pressure comes in really, really quick. This is not the perfect setup. I'm going to show you a variation of this a little bit later on. That's going to get better spacing, get people in better position. But you can see how he's just like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this, you know, 2nd and 3. I'm going to take a 3-yard dump off. I'm just going to keep the change short. I got to respect a player that's that patient with their reads. They're not trying to push the ball down the field. They're taking what the defense gives them, and it's just smart football if you want to have a super efficient offense. So right here, once again, he goes back to play again. I don't have anybody out there, so like my defense is not locking that up, and I'm not setting it up correctly. So I was a little bit frustrated with this whole thing. I think this is where he may have switched things up a little bit. So right here, showing him once again the blitz, switch things out, going to cover 3 with seam flats. Probably should be hard flatting my guys down there because you got to get a defender out into that seam area. He actually jumps into another play right here. You can see I've got my safety down inside the box. He's able to go ahead and hit me over the middle of the field. So he built that play as his base play, and then I had to go ahead and defend it against it. So this is what I looked at. I said, okay, we got to find some type of a play that has a threat of a rush, so he can't just sit on the ball, and I can always have an option to blitz someone and get the ball in. But I also have to something that's going to have hard flats, so I don't have one less adjustment I'm going to worry about. And I want to give him some of a unique look. So basically what I did is I flipped cover 2 invert hard flat. And I like this because it just gives your opponent kind of a different look to it. A fairly simple, easy setup against this cheat flat X post if you got someone that runs this play a lot. So all you're really going to do with this particular play is, first and foremost, we're going to use the nickel corner, and I'm going to put him right over this guard. And the reason to do this guard is that I've got another rusher over here that's coming in. It's going to give this guy a free release to come in. And because this is a double A gap, a lot of times this guy is going to get a one-on-one, and if you got a good defender, defensive end, he's going to rush too. So you're going to have that fast rushing action coming off the edge. You want to play this guard. You want to preoccupy him. You got to have to preoccupy him so this other defender actually plays this guy right here and actually ties him up so you can get that free edge. That forces him to block his running back, so he won't have the option to go ahead and do anything to the outside. Now, the next adjustment is my mid read. This is my wild card player, and I can basically go ahead and man him up on this guy, or I can man him up on this guy. I think for the most part, if you're going to start off with a man up, it's better to go ahead and man him up on this guy, because this guy's got kind of a threat where he can hit the middle of the field or he can go into a corner route. And this post route right here has got junk in the area, and he's going to have to wait for this guy to develop before he can get open. So what you can do is you can play down to the box and then kind of mug right here and then cover up and take away that post. So that's kind of like the smartest thing to do. But you have the option of manning up either to the threats that your opponent's using. So now to take a look at this, your opponent is still going to essentially have the ability to hit the flat, but the difference now is that you're going to have a flat defender out there to go ahead and keep this down to a bare minimum. Now those are broken tackle. It's not perfect defense, but you're going to see I've labbed this on several occasions. This defense is going to be a lot better to play against that. And what happens too is that a lot of times what happens is that this whip route takes a little more time to develop, and this guy's going to be falling right into that zone. So if he's going to have, if he doesn't block his running back, pressure's coming in, he's going to get sacked. If he gets rid of the ball quick, he's going to get maybe 1 or 2 yards. And if he tries to throw the whip, he's going to be throwing right into a defender right here. And my responsibility is, if I'm not manning this guy up here, I have to get in the box and then come back out. So I would say your safest bet is to man this guy up right here so you have something to protect you over the middle of the post. It takes a little bit longer for that other post to develop because there's going to be some people, there's going to be defenders in the area. You can see how this guy actually will come down and play that. One thing too, you want to pass commit. This is going to make this defense a little bit better where they're commit to it, but that does set up other problems. If you do the pass commit, you can actually get yourself in a bind against other types of plays that they blend in. So let's see, you can see I match up the guy on the backside, go ahead and mug the guard, and you can see how the pressure comes in, and if he tries to throw a flat on the backside, you can have that defender on the other side. So this guy was really running, he was throwing everything underneath, he was taking everything underneath. He had some crossing routes that he was using against me, but what I liked about this play is that you got the blocking makes it very difficult, and if you got a good speed pass rush with good defensive ends on the back end, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So right here, setting this up, I think I'm actually running this against more random plays just to see how well this defense works against your opponent if he actually does this. You can see right here, he goes ahead and checks it down to the flat. Computer, my defense is pretty well set. You do have to kind of respond, take care of some stuff such as watching the seam with the tight end, and also what you got to do is you got to watch any kind of like corner route or kind of a seam route with the running back. So they're the things you got to be concerned about this. This shell on the back half is not perfect, but it was with the assumption I'm trying to take away these underneath routes that your opponent could be using. So I'm just out of curiosity, what do you, if you guys ran into this? I did not research this. I did not go into the YouTube algorithm to try to find defense to stop this in your play. I was just trying to see what I could come up with. And this is actually something I felt like it is a good base, and you can kind of build around adjustments around that using hard flats and using this cover 3 stuff. So what would you guys do in this, or what do you know is a good defense to stop this money play that is obviously from an ebook. Some pros have looked at it and seen how hard it is to stop that little flip stuff. So here, this is going to show you basically why you got to watch that running back. The running back, if he's going on some type of a corner route, a red zone scissors type stuff, he can get out there if you're not paying attention. Also, this is not very good against inside zones. Inside zone is a very good play to use against double A gap defenses. So if you run into a guy that likes to use double A gap, if you always want to do an inside zone, you want to make sure you get him out of that, because it is unless he's shooting the gap, the blocking is going to be very superior with this, and you can run into these situations like this where your guys just get completely taken out and you get some runs and stuff against you. So wanted to share this with you guys. What's your thoughts? Share with me your tips and strategies to stop that play or any kind of defenses down in the notes. So once again, thanks for your support. Until next time.